Welcome back to our MOOC, Launching New Ventures. This is week 3 on entrepreneurial marketing.
And this is actually a highly important week because in this week we're going to discuss how you're going to win customers who will ultimately deliver the value for your firm creation process. So when you think about entrepreneurial marketing, it's marketing for new ventures. And Peter Drucker said something really nice that I want to emphasize here. He said the purpose of creating a business is to create a customer and not a product.
Yeah, so marketing primarily is about establishing exchange relationships with a wide variety of stakeholders. So that could be, in the labor market where you need to hire people, in the capital markets, where you need to raise money. So part of your marketing can be oriented toward these different stakeholders. Plus, there could be other stakeholders as well.
Yeah, but in this MOOC, in this segment in particular, we're going to talk about the output markets, how you market to your end customers in order to achieve sales, because this is a vitally important function in your firm creation. So what is important to understand is that entrepreneurial marketing is quite different to normal marketing. Yeah. It means marketing in larger firms because of a number of reasons. And we have listed a couple of these reasons on this slide here. One is, of course, you are a new company. And as a new company, you do not have any track record. People might not trust you. You don't have any reputation. People don't know your product, and you have to establish all the exchange relationships from scratch.
Right. Plus, there's also the smallness issue, which if you're a small company, you may have limited resources. It could be financial resources. You don't have that many people. Your skills. You're limited on time. People don't know you. You have limited bargaining power, limited market power in general. So it's a relatively weak position when you're starting.
And that's further complicated actually by market turbulence and uncertainty, meaning there's lots of new entrants coming into these markets. Your analysis might have a short half-life.
The market can change all the time, and therefore it's difficult for a small company to keep on top of a rapidly changing market.
So we want to give you some intuition of what this really means. And if you look at these examples here, think about the Google Glass. Or think about the zero blade technology, this novel wind turbine that can do without having any blades.
Right. There's also a vacuum cleaner that doubles as a piece of art for small apartments, and a flavor clock that releases different smells at different times of the day so that you can tell by the sense of smell what time it is.
So what would they have in common if you try to market those?
Right. So essentially, most of these products are difficult to understand at first. And people often have a reaction, what is this? What's going on with this? I don't understand. So it's hard to fully interpret the product the first time it hits the world.
And if you're facing these types of consumers, they don't know which dimensions are important in their buying decision, in their evaluation of the product. You need to educate them, They don't have any idea of what features they prefer or don't prefer. So that complicates the whole selling process from your side and the buying process from their side.
We're going to walk you through a systematic process for understanding entrepreneurial marketing and firm success. And that all starts with the fundamentals of the entrepreneur's distinctive capabilities or competencies. In other words, what is the entrepreneur really, really particularly good at, perhaps better than other people, in fact?
And you probably remember that we discussed this exact topic last week. We tried to understand what is your technological competence and how that could be leveraged into different market segments. And this is actually, this week is actually building then on the insights we gained last week. Particularly in the strategy part in marketing, you're going to decide, what are your specific target segment and how should this particular target segment perceive you, i.e. how should your product, how should your company be positioned vis-a-vis that segment. And that core strategic decision will then be implemented through a variety of marketing approaches, marketing tools like your distribution approach, your pricing, your leaflets, your promotional activities, etc., etc. This whole scheme will then give you a very systematic, orchestrated approach to marketing, and that will help you to have a coherent, clear message towards your customers. So let's look at the setup of these week's MOOC in particular.
Yeah, so we'll start with the developing a strategic marketing plan.
Exactly, and that is then the basis for an ingredient of that, I should better say, is the understanding your customers, is understanding your competitors, because that type of knowledge is vital to developing a good marketing plan.
Right, and then we'll talk about the customer value proposition. In other words, what are you giving to your customers, users, payers, et cetera? What value are you bringing to them?
We will then move into the marketing implementation part where we talk about the marketing mix. And we talk one particular exciting element in the marketing mix, which is the guerrilla marketing approach that you might want to adopt. It's a very creative approach to marketing. It's a less resource-intensive approach to marketing, which is vital for young companies, which are typically cash-strapped.
Right, and then we'll talk about crowdfunding. This won't be the only time we discuss crowdfunding. But in this particular module, what we're going to do is discuss some of the marketing aspects of crowdfunding and also help you prepare for a crowdfunding platform that you'll be able to participate later on in the course.
And we conclude by talking about market penetration. That means, you're going to want to see your products being adopted by the market and generate the type of growth that you aspire to in your venture creation process. So we look forward to walking you through all these exciting elements in this week. Thank you very much.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.